चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतकोटि श्री वाणिज्य भक्त सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर महाराज की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। इस्कॉन फाउंडर श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से को श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद से अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री श्री राधा सरद बिहारी की जय। जय श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय। परम करुणा से श्री गौर निताय की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone for Friday morning Srimad Bhagavatam reading. We will continue from Canto 1, the creation, chapter 16, how Parikshit received the age of Kali, and text 31. Share the screen. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Atmanam Chanusochami Bhavantam Chamarattamam Devan Pitru Nrishim Sadhun Sarvan Varnam Stathashramam Atmanam Chanusochami Bhavantam Chamarottamam Devan Pitru Nrishim Sadhun Sarvan Varnas Stathashramam Atmanam Chanusochami Bhavantam Chamarotamam Devan Pitrunashim Sadhun Sarvan Varnam Stathashramam. Please recite.
Atmanang Chanushochami Bhavantang Chamarottamam Devan Pitrin Rishin Sadhun Sarvan Varnang Statashraman.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna. Atmanam chanushochami vamantam chamarotamam devan pitrin rishin shadhun sharvam varnam tatharshamam.
Atmanam chanusochami bhavantam chamarottamam Devan Pitrun Rishin Sadhun Sarvan Varnam Satashaman.
Atmanam chanusochami bhavantam chamarottamam devan pitrin rishin sadhun sarvan varnam stathashraman.
Atmanam chanusochami bhavantam chamarottamam devan pitrin risin sadhum sarvan varnam tatha shraman.
Atmanam chanusochami bhavantam chamarottamam devan pitrun rashin sadhun sarvan varnam stathashraman.
Thank you. Anyone else? Charipur, we want to read. recite? Okay.
Sure. Atmanam chanusochami bhavantam chamarotamam devan pitrin rishin sadhum saram varnam statashraman.
Thank you so much. So we'll go for synonyms. Synonyms. Atmanam, myself. Cha, also. Anusochami, lamenting. Bhavantam, yourself. Cha, as well as. Sorry, let me change this view. Yes. Yeah. Cha, as well as. Amara Uttamam, the best amongst the demigods. Devan, about the demigods. Pitrun, about the denizens of the Pitraloka planet. Rishin, about the sages. Sadhun, about the devotees. Sarvan, all of them. Varnan, sections. Tatha, as also. Ashraman, orders of human society. Translation. I'm thinking about myself and also, O best amongst the demigods, about you, as well as about all the demigods, sages, denizens of Pitraloka, devotees of the Lord, and all men obedient to the system of Varna and Ashram in human society. Purport. This is a very beautiful purport also with this. To affect the perfection of human life, there is a cooperation between men and demigods, sages, denizens of the Pitraloka, devotees of the Lord, and the scientific system of Varna and Ashrama, orders of life. The distinction between human life and animal life therefore begins with the scientific system of Varna and Ashrama, guided by the experience of the sages in relation with the demigods, gradually rising to the summit of re-establishing our eternal relation with the Supreme Absolute Truth, the personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. When God made Varnashrama Dharma, which is strictly meant for developing animal consciousness into human consciousness and human consciousness into godly consciousness, is broken by advancement of foolishness. The whole system of peaceful and progressive life is at once disturbed. In the age of Kali, the first attack of the venomous snake strikes against the God-made Varnashrama Dharma. And thus, a person properly situated as a Brahmana is called a Sudra, and a Sudra, by qualification, is passing as a Brahmana. All on a false birthright claim. To become a Brahmana by a birthright claim is not at all bona fide, although it may be a fulfillment of one of the conditions. But the real qualification of a Brahmana is to control the mind and the senses, and to cultivate tolerance, simplicity, cleanliness, knowledge, truthfulness, devotion, and faith in the Vedic wisdom. In the present age, consideration of the necessary qualification is being neglected, and the false birthright claim is being supported even by popular, sophisticated poet, the author of Ramacharitamanasa. This is all due to the influence of the age of Kali. Thus, Mother Earth, represented as a cow, was lamenting the regrettable condition. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tashmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirbisesa Sunyavadi Paschyata Desa Tarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I was missing all of your association for a few weeks. I'm back. It's great to have this saintly association, which helps in my spiritual life, my own progress. I'm very grateful to everyone for being here and also allowing me to speak for my own purification. So today's verse again is, this is a conversation between Dharma and Mother Earth. He says, Atmanam chanusochami bhabantam chamaruttamam devan pitru nishin sadhun sarvan varnas tatha samam. So, when Dharma, personification of Dharma, in the form of bull, was inquiring Mother Earth, who is in the form of cow. Dharma put forward many questions in front of cow, actually, because he said that you look so pale, you look so distressed. He put many questions in front of the cow. So Dharma asked, please inform me of the root cause of your tribulations, by which you have been reduced to such a weak state. Very nice conversation, actually, and especially Mother Cow's response, which is started from previous verse, is very beautiful. Why? And a few things. The inquiries are always there in this world. Everyone makes inquiries. Even lower species also make inquiries. But here, the conversation is taking place between Mother Cow and Dharma himself, Mother Earth and Dharma himself. So to this question of Dharma, in asking, inform me the root cause of your tribulations. Generally, we always are. We generally, people are always concerned about, our own problems. Oh, I'm going through this, I'm going through that, I'm having a stomach ache, I'm having a heart surgery, I'm having cholesterol, my business is not doing good, and we have list of problems, always there's something to say, because we think about ourselves only, me. Dharma asked this question, what is the reason your dissatisfaction to Mother Earth? And Mother Earth also gave a very answer as, deeply rooted to all the problems, solution to all the problems, and actually the root cause of all the problems. So Mother Earth responds saying that it's not that I'm having all these problems. It's basically I'm having that personality of Godhead, the reservoir of all goodness and beauty. Lord Sri Krishna has now closed his transcendental pastimes on the face of the earth. In his absence, the age of Kali has spread its influence everywhere. So I am sorry to see this condition of existence. So basically, she could have said, I have, yes, I'm going through this problem, I'm going through that problem, I'm going through so many things. But she pointed out, traced it down, saying that, well, the root cause of all these problems is all this you're noticing, all these questions you're asking that I'll be facing, is actually bereft of Lord Krishna's presence. I mean, absence of the Lord Krishna's presence. Because if Lord Krishna is not there, who is actually the personification of all these good qualities, in text 30 listed everything. Before she says everything, she says that the truthfulness, cleanliness, tolerance of another's unhappiness, power to control anger, self-satisfaction, responsibility, leadership, chivalry, everything, you name it. You need name it, everything. Everything comes from that Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, he is not there, personally present on this earth. Now, what will happen? Krishna Surya Sama Maya Andhakar, Yaha Krishna Tahane Maya Adhikar. Wherever there is Krishna, Maya's Adhikar, influence will not be there. If Krishna would have been there, Kali would not dare to come. And we already know what is the influence of Kali, what is the effect of Kali. It's unlimited. Books and books, volumes of books will not be enough to explain. And all this thing is, Mother Earth nailed it down, is certainly due to the absence of Lord Krishna. If Krishna is not there, and all these bad qualities which you mentioned is certainly going to be very prominent. And age of Kali will spread, has spread its influence all over. Actually, I'm so sorry to see this condition. Now, furthermore, this is the greatness of this conversation is, I would like to read the translation again here. She says that I'm thinking about myself and also, oh, best among the demigods, or best amongst the demigods, about you. I'm thinking of you as well. You as a dharma, I'm thinking of you as well. As well as all the demigods, sages, denizens of Pitraloka, devotees of the Lord, and all men obedient to the system of Varna and Ashrama in the human society. Generally, if you especially if you're used to in India, people have different houses, strong houses, and they keep very nice inside their house. Inside their house, nice sofas, most of the clean, everything is available. But when you come out, you will see how chaos, very chaotic situation. It can be dirty, it can be so many things going on, so much of disturbance. It's like a place of all nonsense you can do. The point I'm trying to bring this is that, generally we think about our own self. We don't see we are part of the whole system. We are part of the whole system. Mother Earth, she's not just thinking of herself, because she herself is incomplete without all of them, if you do not consider of everybody. Let's see what Prabhupada writes, and we will go through one by one. Prabhupada writes, I'll go through one by one actually. It's very nicely he did it. First of all, he says, why all these rules and regulations of the Varnashrama system is Varnashrama system has only things to do to people of this earth, or its influence and effect is there throughout the universe. Lord Krishna explains in third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he says, Devan bhavayata teno, te deva bhavayantuvaha, parasparam bhavayantaha, sreha parama vapshataha. So he says, the devatas being pleased by sacrifices will also please you, and thus by cooperation between the men and demigods. prosperity will reign for all. So whatever I'm doing in this world, what I have, in how I'm living, it's not just because of my own endeavor, but there's a whole system is in place for my personal individual growth and collective cooperation. My individual growth will not be successful if I don't have cooperation, the universal cooperation. Many times we think, oh, whatever I'm doing, we just blame for the karma, but it has its relationship to this universe, the personalities. Anything we do, it can disturb the whole, what do you call, system. Whole system will be disturbed. That's why the earth is disturbed. She says that, Prabhupada writes in the purport, to affect the perfection of the human life, there's a cooperation between man and demigods, sages, denizens of the Pitraloka, devotees of the Lord, and the scientific system of Varna and Ashrama, orders of life. The distinction between human life and animal life, therefore, begins with the scientific system of Varna and Ashrama, guided by the experience of the sages in relation with the demigods, gradually rising to the summit of re-establishing our eternal relation with the Supreme Absolute Truth, the personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. So simply, it is not just Varnashrama system. It is not just Varnashrama system. And the whole system has been placed by the Supreme Lord. It's like working like a one single system, even though we may not understand. If one fails, if Varnashrama system fails, it has its consequences through everywhere. It's everywhere. That's why Mother Earth is concerned. He said that, I'm also worried of demigods. One can ask questions. Well, age of Kali is in the earth. Then why is worried about demigods, sages? Nothing will happen to sages. What will happen to Pitralokas? Kali Yuga is happening in the earth. Then why is worried about all these personalities, all these locusts? So definitely there's a relationship. What we do, what I do in my life, there's a relationship, there's consequences to my surroundings, and to this earth, to this universe. So the first paragraph, Prabhupada writes that, the whole system is in place for the soul's, individual soul's gradual development. And finally, final development is to re-establishing our eternal relationship with the Supreme Absolute Truth. So people should not identify this as a Hindu dharma, or it's dharma only for people of India. It's for everyone. Everyone needs this system so that we individually and collectively grow in our consciousness and get out of this world by establishing loving relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. That's the first section Prabhupada stresses. Now, who will do this? Whatever the system, even though it was established, Chaturvarna Maya system, Guna Karma Vibhaga, Maya system, Maya system, this Varna and Ashrama is established by me. Okay, Krishna established. But who is actually supposed to be taking care? He also gave qualified Brahmanas and qualified kings to act on this principle and protect it. It does not work automatically. It needs a whole endeavor, a whole lot of things to keep the system in place. To keep system in that place, it's not just very automatically. That's why Lord Krishna, he arranged whole this big war, Mahabharata war, just for this purpose. So that if qualified king as Yudhishthira Maharaj, he rules, he will make sure that this, prosperity in the prosperity is not just material prosperity, the spiritual growth in the society can happen. In their consciousness, people can grow. It's not like just economic development. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha, then bhakti. All purusarthas is important. So brahmanas, qualified brahmanas and qualified kings are very much needed to keep this system intact and help the society. In the third paragraph, Prabhupada writes, say that, but what happens is, when the God made Varnashrama Dharma, Krishna made the Varnashrama Dharma. When the God made Varnashrama Dharma, which is strictly meant for developing animal consciousness into human consciousness and human consciousness into godly consciousness, is broken by advancement of foolishness. And is broken by the advancement of foolishness, the whole system of peaceful and progressive life is at once disturbed. Actually, whole system fails, collapses. In our lifetime itself, we are seeing the damage to the system is happening very rapidly, very rapidly. And especially the recent things going on, without any logic behind it. Example, Varna Shankara is very prominent in this age. Varna Shankara is very prominent. People can get married or they don't get married. The children they're born without any culture. They will born and they will have their own progenies without any culture, without any purpose. This world will be full of Varna Shankaras. And especially when being born in India, when the marriages used to take place, there's nothing wrong, you find out a proper bride within your culture, they understand this same culture, so they can grow, they can follow the system of Varnashrama. Nowadays, that also is failing. They know Vaishya, they know Kshatriya. Kshatris are gone. They know Kshatriya culture at all. And of course, there's no Brahmana as well. We will talk about it later. And in America, and we can see this issue as further has gone, and by legalizing this, marriage within the same gender and transgender and so on. So you just name it. Probably I don't know much. So many things are happening in this world. It's all intermixing of all Varnas, creating Varna Shankara, totally forgetting about this, the goal. Immediate sense gratification is the primary goal of life. I change my gender, I just do whatever I like. But here Mother Earth and Bull, which is personification of Dharma, are very civilized. They are talking about very seriously they are discussing, they're not just discussing about their own problems. It's, what will happen? What is going to happen? It's like everything works fine and you're anticipating a calamity. You hear a news that there's going to be a cyclone or hurricane going to happen. So it becomes a concern for you. What will happen? Will everything all right? How the life will be alive? It becomes a big concern for self and whole society. Just like Corona happened, it became a big concern. So the great people like Mother Earth and Dharma, they talk about not just their individual impacts, but they think about the whole system, how to created by the Lord. It's not just now. At the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam also we read how the great sages, they gathered together to counteract the effects of the Kali. very much concerned. They were concerned about people in general, for everybody in this age of Kali. It's not just selfish plans they keep, their own benefit. So that's why in our temples also, we can the same principle we need to work on in the temple also. Temples are the places to discuss about the benefit of whole human society. I'll cover a little later. So when God made Varnashrama Dharma is broken by advancement of foolishness, whole system of peaceful and progressive system at once disturbed. System failure. When a system failure, nothing functions. All our system will not work. So it's not just Kali Yuga we are talking about. It's not just in Kali Yuga all the symptoms will manifest. And that's really not too bad. By looking into how its influence and effect will be there throughout the universe. That is also is being concerned, matter of concern. In further, Prabhupada writes, in the age of Kali, how the age of Kali acts very tactically. In the age of Kali, the first attack of the venomous snake strikes against the God-made Varnashrama Dharma. So let's break it down. Break the legs. On those legs, all this. On those legs, this dharma is standing. Break all this system. So basically, they are trying to. The Kali attacks Varnashrama Dharma against the God-made Varnashrama Dharma, and we all know how it is affected. The Brahmanas in this age of Kali, the Brahmanas who are not qualified, they take the position of a Brahmana. Thus, a person properly qualified as a Brahmana is called a Sudra. And a Sudra, by qualification, is passing as a Brahmana. All on a false birthright claim. There's so many conversations happens in YouTube, especially in India. They will invite people, Brahmins and famous personality, please come, speak on your opinion, give your opinion. So they will come and speak. Because they will speak based on their birth as a Brahmana, or they will give. But even though they may not follow in their personal life the Brahmanical qualities, they won't. Why Prabhupada writes that he says, in the age of Kali, the first attack of the venomous snake strikes against the God-made Varnashrama. Thus, a person properly qualified as a Brahmana is called a Sudra. Why Prabhupada writes this? Because he is making all these Brahmanas, still they will not be accepted as a Brahmana. On the other hand, a person simply takes birth in a Brahmana's house, will be claimed, given a high seat, okay, please come and you're qualified. On a false birthright claim, to become a Brahmana by a birthright claim is not at all bona fide. Although it may be a fulfillment of one of the conditions. So Prabhupada does not disagree that there's one of the conditions. It's good, because it's favorable. If you've taken birth in a Brahmanical family, we have these privileges, we have these qualities we have. But simply that doesn't make one a Brahmana. But simply on the basis of birthright, one cannot claim as a Brahmana. But the real qualification of a Brahmana is to control the mind, the senses, to cultivate tolerance, simplicity, cleanliness, knowledge, truthfulness, devotion, and faith in the Vedic wisdom. This is what it is, the Brahmana is. Then Prabhupada further writes, in the present age, consideration of the necessary qualification is being neglected. And the false birthright claim is being supported even by a popular sophisticated poet, the author of Ramacharitamanasa. Prabhupada is very bold here. I know Vishnu Prabhu many times he brings back to us when we talk about Ramayana is to talk about Valmiki Ramayana. Ramacharitamanasa is Tulsidas. And so much Prabhupada writes here. So much some mess up is here. And Tulsidas seems in his book is the false birthright claim is made in his teachings, looks like. You know, for ordinary people, they may not understand, but it's all effect and influence of the Kali. All influence of the Kali. The whole system is collapsing and failing. That becomes a very big concern for Mother Earth and Dharma. So Mother Earth was not kind of worried about her selfish thing, oh, how my life will be like this. But she's really thinking everyone out of, Pitraloka is not part of the earthly planet, but still she's thinking of Pitraloka, heavenly planets, the demigods, everyone. So this chapter is titled as How Parikshit Maharaj Received This Age of Kali. Right, this is the chapter how Parikshit Maharaj received the age of Kali. It's a very nice thing. Now, we also can focus on, contemplate on, ask this question: how Prabhupada received age of Kali? There's one way the effect of Kali is rapidly growing day by day. It is affecting devotees also. Devotees' lives also it is affecting constantly. But Prabhupada and other acharyas fought and brought revolution. That's the beauty of it. They did not say that, okay, Kali is happening, it'll continue, what I can do. Prabhupada and other acharyas fought constantly. In this age, trying to revive God consciousness and revive this varnashram system is not an easy job. It's a very, very challenging, to the whole system of Kali Yuga. It's not easy, but Prabhupada and Acharyas fought constantly, starting from Bhaktivinoda Thakur or Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami also fought very much to protect the bhakti, the teachings of the bhakti. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he fought. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he fought, re-establishing that, no, this is the Brahmanas. And because of that, now we can see that so many speakers on the YouTube and Vaishnava culture is growing. They're recognized, appreciated, and people listen and appreciate this. Prabhupada and other acharyas fought and brought revolution, establishing the systems to cultivate Brahmanas. So Brahmanas are, even though everybody is needed in Varnashrama system, but Brahmanas are root very much needed. Without Brahmanas and protectors of the Brahmanas, it won't be successful. So the constant struggle of Acharyas and Srila Prabhupada actually will go in vain if members do not take advantage of this Brahmanical culture is given to us. How Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada took this Krishna conscious movement as urgent, emergency, right? Prabhupada was striving, working with Gandhi movement, saying that let us free India from this British rule. That's the most priority. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, no. The most priority is establishing this, because if you identify the root cause, because lack of Krishna consciousness, everything is happening, then automatically things will be in place. And that's why Mother Earth also responds to the same, is what she's saying is, it's all because of the personality of God and the reservoir of all goodness and beauty. Lord Sri Krishna has now closed his transcendental pastimes on the face of earth. In his absence, the age of Kali has spread its influence everywhere. So I am sorry to see this condition of existence. So she is very much convinced that only Krishna or Krishna consciousness can bring the change, the required change, so the necessary change to this world, which great persons are looking for. So it's 8:35. I know this subject matter is very deep. Proper rights varnashram system also. I wanted to, go the purpose behind it. Didn't go through the details of the varnashram system, but I would like to stop here and open for discussion and corrections. Questions, please feel free. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
If anybody has questions, please just unmute yourself, or comments or realizations.
No questions are good. It means everybody accepted. Any thought? Because how Mother Earth and Bull, they were discussing as overall system. Its influence, Kali's influence is not only this people on this earth. They were thinking of, Pitruloka. Pitruloka we can understand, right? Because in the age of Kali, there won't be any Sraddha, any proper austerity will not be performed. So Pitruloka will be suffering. So now similarly, we can talk about demigods also. Anyone would like to share something, how demigods will be impacted by the age of Kali?
Just like Pitruloka, Pitris are not going to be served the same way demigods also, like it's said in Bhagavad Gita. We have to offer yajnas, we have to, otherwise we are committing sin. So in the same way.
Yes, thank you very much. This oblation, offering oblations part is very scientific. Somebody can clear also. We have whole Daksha yajna took place where Lord Shiva and all the demigods were part of it, directly or indirectly, and the yajnas are very much needed for the nourishment of demigods. That's what I understood. So there won't be any yajna. Mother Earth is worried, in these people, and the whole system is in place, but they won't do their work. They won't perform any yajna. How the demigods will become strong? If they are weak, how the whole system will work? That's one of my understanding and the concern, because even though Kali is happening in earth, but demigods are impacted. Kali is happening in earth, but Pitruloka is in fact impacted. The whole system is impacted because of Kali Yuga. That's what I understood from this as well. Any more comments? Vishnu, you're going to share something?
I just thought it was interesting. Srila Prabhupada said that birth in the Brahmin family was it condition?
Yeah. He said that, yes.
I was thinking it may be a condition, but it's not a required condition.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sometimes we see, like, for example, there's the story of Gautam Muni, who was accepting disciples, and he had one disciple that he didn't know who was. He asked him, "Well, who's your father?"
Hmm.
And the disciple said, "I don't know." So then he said, "Well, go ask your mother." So he asked his mother, and what did she say?
She says she doesn't know.
Yeah, she said she doesn't know. So he came back and told Gautama Muni. So what did Gautama Muni say?
Well, you have the Brahminical quality, so you're qualified to become Brahmin.
Yeah, because he was truthful. He was truthful, even though in polite society it may not be good to say that your birth is from a woman or a family that they don't know who even your parent is, your father is. But still, that was a qualification. So it seems like he was accepting practically disciples mostly from families where they were born in a Brahmin family. But in this case, he made that acceptance. And we know also Parshuram, he was teaching the military science, but in his one of the reasons he insisted only on teaching people from Brahmin backgrounds is because his own father was murdered by a Kshatriya. Yeah. So when he was in meditation. So anyway, he wanted only to accept students who were coming from Brahmin background. So he asked Karna, what is his background? And Karna said, what? He lied. He said he was from a Brahmin background, but so he accepted him.
Yeah.
Even though really he was from a different background.
Yeah. Having birth is not bad because Krishna says, because of Sikriti, one takes birth in that family. So one should not misuse that because falsely birthright claim is made, but it doesn't mean that having birth is bad, right? But having birth is like you're already endowed with all these abilities, qualities.
You may be, yes.
Right. So birth, but one should not say that, okay, now because I'm born, even though I don't have qualification, claiming that is what is kind of birth, taking birth in a Brahmana is a Sikriti, one's previous Sikriti, and it's good. So on the other hand, even if you're not born Brahmana, one should not stop one if one has the ability. That was condemned. So claiming birthright is condemned. At the same time, stopping one to not become, not allowing in one's progress, and that's what is also blamed. So the root causes, some of the root causes here nailed it down is, first of all is all this thing we see in this world, in whatever it is manifesting, is simply because absence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that is the consequence is also, if you don't have proper Brahmanas and proper Kshatriyas, the whole system will collapse. That's why Prabhupada, at the beginning also, if you notice that he wanted to create Brahmanas so that they can become the head of the society, show path to everybody. The pillars of the whole system. Any other comments?
Last week, Mother Shyamala Gopika gave class, and one of the things she was saying is that, like you're saying, it is Sukriti to be born in a Brahmin family because there are certain qualities we have, but those qualities are being put to not the right use. She was saying there was, that capacity to learn, memorize, and all that is generally said that Brahmins have it, but that's being used to go into IITs and get engineering degrees and stuff like that. And again, in this verse also Prabhupada is talking about Tulsidas and the amount of misdirection that has happened. I know in India, sometimes there's, like charity should be given to Brahmins. So we are born in a Brahmin family, so we are invited and we sit as Brahmins to accept that charity. And the whole concept is completely messed up, and just wrong ideas being propagated, and to the point where we don't even know how far off track we are.
Yes. Yes. And you brought this point, there are several reasons again in South India, this is referring to how Brahmins are now accepting the path of Sudras.
Mm.
You can get higher salary, and it's very easy. So many Brahmins are very, very successful in America, isn't it? Mm-hmm. For them, it's very easy to execute all this Sudra activity. They get fat money. But on the other hand, they lose the great opportunity. They gave reason. You're from Tamil Nadu, right?
Andhra.
Andhra, yeah. I think you lived in Madras also, I thought, right?
Yes.
So, those people, they say how the Brahmins are being suppressed as well, very much. Brahmins went through a lot of challenge. There are two things. We cannot always blame to the Brahmins. Yeah, they did mistake. At the same time, the Kali is also cutting the root of the system. Kali, people of different Sudras, the envious of Brahmana. Why only you? Why not us? Everybody is equal. So they create all these facilities. Only Sudras can get benefits. Brahmanas can still continue to beg and eat. So this discrepancies or discourages the people. Now Prabhupada brings this hope. As you said, they are discouraged and they did not use the opportunity. And same thing applicable to ISKCON devotees. Now we are in ISKCON, Hare Krishna movement has been given everything to us. We need to leverage everything given to us nicely, actually by developing all these qualities. Morning program and sadhana, service is we need to think beyond just box of me only, how I'm helping the whole universe, just by my own sincere practice. We are part of the whole system. So it's just a thought that we can show gratitude that because of the system, I'm surviving. And I should not take granted, and we appreciate others are growing in spiritually. That's very good. Thank you, Mother Somarade, for adding. So, should we stop it here? Please, I'm sorry if my presentation was not enough funded, enough science behind it. I thought let's contemplate deeply on, on what gravity Mother Earth and Dharma are discussing. They're not discussing that their own personal problems are priority, but they're thinking as a great person, they're thinking overall system failure and what are the root cause of the system failure and how it can be re-established by bringing back the Lord's presence into the society. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Vanchakalpatarvyascha prasindhivyevacha tanam pavanebhyo.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you very much.